And what's going on, everybody? It is Saturday night and next podcast is live. Guys, we had a great conversation going on in the background to the point where I was like, hey guys, I think we should bring this live and bring the rest of the community, the family, into this gaming conversation. But huge shout out to everybody in the chat. What is going on, chat? It is good to see all of y'all. We have to get in with the introductions, and I am going to start first with, coming live from the 405, and he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there, my brother K Mega.
What up, man? Sitting here and had a good Thanksgiving weekend so far, man. Seeing my Thunder winning and seeing OU get past West Virginia, and and I see the Michigan gave us a little bone, man. So I'm pretty excited, man. Can't wait to go see my Sooners play Texas next week. Go ahead and beat them Longhorns. Let's do that. And other than that, man, just enjoying gaming. Battlefield is
there any gaming in there, man? You sounded like a casual over here.
Man,
just talking sports going like.
You know what? I can multitask, bro. I can do that. So what I do is, got off of that Red Dead, beat that, complete that, and put in about a good 30 on this Battlefield. This is life, baby. Let's go.
Oh no, now, dude, I gotta say, Red Dead. I also beat it as well. All the epilogues and everything afterwards, dude. I gotta ask you, after beting that game, do you have any doubt that should be Game of the Year right now?
No doubt at all.
Oh,
there is no doubt in this, because I'm just saying, God of War, you are fantastic.
You know what I'm saying?
Great
second place.
You're great second place, but there's nothing more satisfying than me playing Red Dead this year. No doubt about it,
man. And I finished it, so I'm gonna be working on a review this week. So I'm gonna be coming out with a Red Dead Redemption 2 review, and coming from somebody who is not into cowboys and all that good stuff, man, that game hooked me, absolutely hooked me, yo. But let's go next on the list, and let's go with the Rookie of the Year. My brother, who will be going back into Destiny 2. We might have a new recruit in our team as well. Knoxximus!
Yo, what's good, everybody, man? Yeah, definitely gonna be hitting that Destiny up. Got to get that raid done. Red Dead, definitely Game of the Year. I haven't finished it yet, and I can tell you that. God of War, action Game of the Year. I'll give it that.
You give it
second place. Just give it that, because action game.
Second place is not bad. The silver medal is good, man. It's good, yo.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking Red Dead, bro. My man Dutch. Oh, Dutch is wild.
Oh, dude. You don't even know. You don't even know.
I don't want to know.
You don't even know, brother. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go next on the list, and I will say, in this panel right now, I'm gonna start some drama. The man who is #1 in Battlefield 5, Predator.
How am I #1? What did I do?
Dude, man, you live it, dude. I played a couple rounds with you last night. A couple rounds where you were on the other team, which was kind of weird. But I can tell you about it, man. If there's anybody I want on my team, it is this man right here. Yo, what's going on, Pred?
Not much, man. Nothing but Battlefield this week. Trying to iron out some of these games, my backlog, but it's really hard. With that coming out. I did knock out Red Dead, Game of the Year for me. Still got to finish Assassin's Creed. I kind of put that down for a little bit. And we talked about it a little bit off the air, but yo, man, I'm looking at your shitty ass gameplay from last week, but
do you see the gold diamonds flowing around it? The gameplay winner going there, yo. That is beautiful right there for the winning gameplay from last week, man.
I brought some nice kills for Battlefield for this week. So.
I'm going to win this week because I brought a new game that I've talked about for many moons, and you finally get to see the gameplay. So
he's playing Tetris.
Shower with
Tetris.
Dad.
No.
No.
Dude, nothing wrong with Tetris, man. I had a blast playing with old Snaps the other night. We were going at it, for real.
Yeah. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, by the way. And saying, and even if you didn't celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope everybody's having a good weekend, man.
See, thank you for saying that, man. Because like usually, you know me, I don't do holidays and everything like that. But like I got a lot of well wishes, and I didn't want to just like be kind of negative throughout all of them. Be
I
like,
wasn't talking about you. I was talking about your kids and Snaps. So Snaps and.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, they celebrate wholeheartedly, man. I am the Grinch of every single holiday in this house. Yeah, for real. But yeah.
But I bet you want gifts for Christmas, don't you?
No,
don't.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. The only gifts I get are on my birthday, man, and I'm completely fine with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You want to dive into that right now?
No, I just don't. I just was like, well, don't ever don't do no ex mooching then if that's what you don't believe in, because I believe in it.
Ex mooching, like we have different categories of mooching now.
Mooching, that's me. You know what I'm saying? You got mooching, you got Fred mooching. I saw Fred over there mooching about something earlier this week. So yeah, a matter of fact, my wish list.
Yeah, just cause people.
Yeah, my wish list is up. So if anybody wants to go and check out on Xbox Live, just go over there and hit it, and you'll see my wish list. So if anybody wants to be cool, hey man, Kamuchin, I'm not too proud to beg.
Damn,
fuck that.
Say,
I've yet to mooch a copy of the game ever. So I'm working on this just cause right now.
Yo, I gotta say,
for this shit.
Since Predator brought it up, man, my gameplay does look really good right now. Yo, thank you to everybody who voted for me. I will not be in the voting this week because I won last week, but I will be back in next Saturday, and I think we're going to go with another win because I already got my gameplay ready, people. I already got it ready. All right, that's what I do. I'm ahead of things, like 2 steps ahead going on here. But, guys, we were talking about it. We were talking about it off the air, and I was like, dude, this would be a really good conversation. And, my brother Knox, man, I'm sorry. Like you can put in your opinions, but I know you haven't played the game yet. But me, Predator, K Mega, we've gotten into Battlefield, and I just want to hear kind of like your quick impressions. What do you think about this game? Because I mean, let's be real here. It caught a lot of negativity before it was released. So let's start with K Mega. Yo, Mega, is the negativity like warranted, or do you think this game has legs, man? People are going to be playing this for a while.
Absolutely not. I think it's ridiculous. I think if you got people out here that will defend and stand for Fallout 76, there's which is no comparison in to me about the quality of game. Battlefield 5 is on the same level as Battlefield 4. Once Battlefield 4 was patched and fixed. This game is amazing. It's fun. I know that, people might turn up their nose because they think of World War II. They're tired of the older games. This game doesn't even feel like an older game because the weapons are modern enough to where they feel like it's a modern type game. It's a great run. I mean, it's smooth. Just that. The difference in classes, of course, and just everything about it. The only thing that I will knock on it is that the stories, I love the stories, but the gameplay within those stories, it's not enough action in them, and so therefore they fall quite short compared to what you had to play in Battlefield 1 stories. So, but the stories I really love them because they were true stories. Like I looked them up. They were awesome. Like I'm like, damn. So I do like that, but like I said, the action part of it, it's pretty dismal.
I got
that's
you,
my only complaint.
Yo, with me playing it, like I haven't gotten into the stories yet, but from what I've seen from Battlefield 1, I have played Battlefield 5 in terms of the multiplayer. I feel like with Battlefield, the stories are more to show kind of like the wide range of emotion in war, the desperation, the sadness, as well as like the high points when you come through and you accomplish something. Where the multiplayer, I feel, and we were talking about this, Pred, you're going to chime in on this, man. In terms of like your specialized groups, like whether you're a recon or assault or stuff like that, they really went in and fleshed it out to the point where you have to be a medic and you have to do medic things to really get your points and stuff like that. It's something I really like from the game. Pred, what do you think, man?
Yeah, and that's, a lot of people who don't really follow Battlefield or are new to it don't understand that the class that you pick, you have to play in that class.
Oh yeah.
So like, so like you're a medic. Your job is to not just get kills. You have to revive people as well. Like if you're an assault, you have to assault. If you're a sniper, you got to spot out enemies. It isn't about getting kills. But my overall impressions, I was not a big fan of Battlefield 1. I think it's because of the time, like the weapons and stuff like that of that era. You can't go from Battlefield 4 where you have fucking like nukes and shit, not nukes, but like, crazy weapons, and then go back all the way back to World War One, where you're very limited in the weapons you have. This one I feel like it's really balanced, like the weapons they have there. The planes and stuff and the tanks, I don't really fuck with them too much. I'm usually a medic or I've been playing more assault lately.
I want to get into the planes, man. I haven't gotten into a plane yet. I did it in Battlefield 1, and I used to have a blast, like buzzing through the combat zone and everything.
They have what's it called? I guess a mode coming out here in a couple of weeks where you can actually just jump in the planes and learn how to fly and stuff like that. A practice mode or
like air assault, they've
like
had
shooting range or something.
Yeah, shooting range was called actually, and I think that's in there as well. They did it in Battlefield 4. They also, if you played the story, there's another story coming out on the 4th.
The Tiger. Yeah.
So, the whole story isn't done. I hope they continue to do that where they add stories, throughout the lifespan, because this isn't Call of Duty. Battlefield usually lasts about 2 years. They continue to add content to it over the next couple of years.
I heard the next 6 months they're only adding like 2 maps though. They are adding like different components in terms of like the story mode. I believe they're adding a couple things there. They're adding maybe a couple more modes or whatever, but
they'll probably add 2 maps and maybe some. They have a lot more weapons they can actually use in this game, which you don't. They're not unlockable right now. You don't even see them yet. If you play through the story, you'll see some weapons that you don't even use in online.
And you're like, where are they? I want them.
Yeah, really. I was like, what? Where's this at? How come I can't pick this up yet? But babe. But I love the game. It reminds me of Battlefield 4. I think the biggest misstep with this game is it isn't modern, and I think that's where a lot of people kind of got turned off with. We just had World War II and Call of Duty. Why are we doing this again? This actually would have opened it up, and maybe the negativity wouldn't have been so bad had they actually done something more modern. I have a feeling the next one is still not going to be current day. I think it's going to be like World War One. I'm sorry, not World War II, but Vietnam.
Dude, if they don't have to be like absolute like modern day, but if they go into, I think a lot of people want to see a game like completely revolving around like Vietnam and kind of like that dense jungle. You know what I'm saying? Just to have
or
that
Korean
difference.
War, because
same thing.
Very few games did anything with the Korean War.
Yeah,
I can see them. I can see them kind of working up into something more modern, more current, like within current day, like maybe even Iraq, Afghanistan type stuff in the future. But but the only thing about that is like you're limiting yourself into a certain environment, like mountainous terrain. There's snow up there too, but
camel spiders everywhere.
It's desert. It's like most of the stuff you're gonna do is desert stuff, and you'll get some snow maps and stuff like that. But for the most part, the terrain is gonna be pretty much the same everywhere you go with both Afghanistan and Iraq. So I can see Vietnam though. That will be a good step for them. I know a lot of people are kind of pushing for that.
Fred, I can tell you really like Battlefield. I can tell you like this game too, man, because like when you just start talking about it, I know you'll play music on us when we start going long in our opinions on something, but dude, when it comes to Battlefield, I think we're going to start playing music for you as well. But I think it's really good. I think it's solid. The gameplay is absolutely, like, it's smooth in the multiplayer. Like, everything runs beautifully, and I love the fact, like we said before, if you're a medic, then you're gonna have to go over there, heal people, revive people. It's what you're supposed to do. You don't just pick the medic because they got a great mid-range gun and you're just gonna go out there and kill people. You're not gonna help out your squad that way. So I think they're gonna it's definitely not the end of Battlefield. All right, now we wanted something more modern. They didn't do that, but it's not like they gave us a piece of shit game that doesn't run. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we'll see you guys on the battlefield, by the way, because I have a feeling we're gonna be playing a lot of that. But yo, Knox, you were bringing up something about Destiny. I think one of your cousins is coming over from PlayStation to Xbox, and you were starting to say there was something about Black Armory. What's going on, man? What are your thoughts here, yeah? Or not? Yep. Or not?
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, that's great. Well, okay. Well, I just want to.
No, hold on.
Oh shit!
I was muted right quick.
Equal opportunity. If we're gonna talk, we can talk about games, and Destiny 2 is a game, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, you with your little crush on Battlefield here, so you know.
Oh shit.
Well,
look, I ain't gonna hate on it. I'm not a fan of it.
We made it sound good, man. Come on. We made it sound good.
I do like if that approach is real, because I really think that multiplayer games need to focus on, you know, letting people contribute more than just being the killing machine, and then he's the one that gets all the props.
Look at Fred's gameplay. He's playing the story mode right now. That this shows you right there more than the killing machine.
No doubt. I'll check it out. But so listen,
yeah, but you'll see what he's gonna do. It's cool.
Well, shout out to my cousin, one Bronx boy, right? Mm-hmm. He picked up the complete package. He took advantage of the Friday deal for Destiny 2, right? He wants to play on his X. He wanted to come through. So he's trying to get the Black Armory DLC. He goes, checks out a website, checks out the Best Buy website, right? Mm-hmm. They got the Black Armory deal. It's not even a deal. It's like 34. It's the same 34 yuccas, right? But the difference.
Well, you can't buy it separately. It's a season pass, dude.
No doubt. But this one comes with 1,000 silver, right? So that's pretty much like a $10 savings right there, right? So he's like, okay, cool. What is it though? Only for PlayStation. He's looking for it for Xbox One. He hits up he hits up customer service. He asked customer service, let me ask you a question. Is it that it's not available because it's sold out? Or is it that they just don't have this available for the Xbox period? And they said it's not available for Xbox period, only for PlayStation 4. Right?
Knox, let me stop you real quick. Let me because I've noticed this before. If you ever go to like Best Buy or like you see those little cards they have hanging up on the little end caps and stuff like that for the games. If you look on the back of those, like they're available for PlayStation. If it's a PlayStation marketed game, those games aren't available for download pre-order on Xbox.
Yeah, but this is DLC.
Even DLC, it's the same fucking shit. It's like Sony blocks that shit.
That's what I'm saying. They're giving you 1,000 silver, right? Mm-hmm. Silver is their fake currency for the Eververse.
Yeah, you need
right?
real money to get.
That's real money. So basically, instead of it being $34, it's $24 now, right? Because now you can go and spend $10 in their little store, right? So it makes it, you know.
He said in their little store.
It makes it that you want to pick it up. Why is it Microsoft? The whole thing of why I'm bringing it up is because, in my opinion, Microsoft needs to become way more aggressive. We all know this with their marketing and not letting shit like that happen, because things like that will make somebody be like, well, you know what? If somebody was wanting it right now, right? They haven't gotten Destiny. They're seeing it. It's the same deal for both, right? And they're ready to make that commitment to get it for the X because they got both systems, right? They got a Pro and they got an X. That right there could have been the turning point. Instead of him getting it for the Pro, now he's going to go buy the whole Legendary pack, right? Plus that DLC for his PS4 Pro now, because he feels he's getting $10 savings.
Well, see, I mean, and that's the thing with marketing deals. I know we've gone on record when it comes to like the marketing and what Xbox, Phil Spencer, what they need to do. And I know I've gone on record, at least one of the 20 million shows I'm on, saying that, you know, they're just kind of laying low, and I feel like they're going to get really aggressive in terms of marketing and everything like that. You know, in 2020 with like Project Scarlet and everything, like the new hardware coming out, you're going to see a more aggressive push, possibly in marketing as well. But until then, I mean, we just got to kind of deal with it. You also got to remember Bungie, Activision, when it came to the marketing deal, you know, it's a two-way street. It was Sony and it was Activision that came out with everything that they were going to do for the marketing terms and stuff like that. So,
but
like,
that was never anything that was included in that. Yeah, they got a couple of extra guns and some skins and some nonsense, some really irrelevant shit, and the couple of weapons that we got now on the Xbox. That whole
is nothing, absolutely nothing.
Well, I mean, the Borealis is pretty dope, but you know what I'm saying. But it's irrelevant now. We don't need it now. You know what I'm saying? But you know, kind of like what they did with Hawk Moon in Part 1. When it was relevant, Xbox players didn't get to have it. But that's all right. But this is like something that's outside of that. Like how is this like coming with extra money savings and it's only for PlayStation? I didn't even hear this being announced. Like if we wouldn't have checked it, if we wouldn't have looked into it, I wouldn't have known that even existed.
See, to me it sounds like something that was within the marketing kind of like contract or whatnot. And even if they kind of left it open to add things like these small type of things into it afterwards. But I want to hear from like K Mega and Predator on this. Like, I don't know, do you guys think it's a part of the marketing? And what do you guys think about them offering, you know, the silver is more for like the visual skins and stuff like that you can put on your character. What do you guys think about this? Yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to be honest with you. Once y'all start talking about Destiny, it was kind of like somebody talking Klingon. I had no idea what the hell was being said. Nor did I care. But no, okay, no.
See, now you know how people are going to feel going to the end of your gameplay today, man. I'm just saying.
Oh man, when they see the end of my gameplay, they're gonna be like, "What? Brought that fire." Anyway, no. Okay, but yeah, this is. But remember, Xbox was not doing the deals towards the beginning of the generation. So I mean, PlayStation locked down Destiny right from the get-go. So it's one of those things where Xbox is going to have to look and adjust to counteract that. Maybe, just maybe, that there might be something that could come for Sony not going to E3. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because there's going to be a lot of third-party big budget games that's going to be kind of like left in limbo. I know that they're going to be shown at PSX, but again, not showing them at E3, it's just kind of weird. So, maybe they can address that. I don't know. I mean, look, I think it's kind of minute to trip out over a $10 savings, but I mean,
that's just the culmination of the whole thing, Mega Man. They need to get a little more Donnie D in Mega Man. That's it. They need to get some Donnie D in there, man.
That's not Microsoft's method. And look, PlayStation can get away with stuff that Xbox can't. Xbox try to do something like that, then it's going to be all different types of.
Because you know what, Mega?
I'm telling you,
PlayStation took that whole practice was Xbox. That was the 360. That was the whole 360. The whole way it functioned. And they took it and they used it, and they're kicking Microsoft's ass with it.
It ain't going to work with Microsoft, with this new Microsoft now. It's just not. If they try it, look, the media is already making, you know what I'm saying? Look, somebody posted me a picture of something and I didn't even see it until today. It tripped me out. Like, I've been seeing a couple of memes go around where showing because the new Lion King is going to come out, and they show like a comparison of I've seen some people show it with the Xbox versus the Pro. Well, they showed me what IGN was doing a comparison to. Oh, the PlayStation Pro versus the PlayStation 2. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, there's an actual picture. Like, it came out, like, I guess today. And so I was like, what? Like, so the thing of it is like, if this was back in the beginning of the generation, and they try to use, and IGN used that meme, that they would have used that meme to go after Xbox. I mean, it's just because they went after Xbox completely when they went after when they were talking about the power narrative and about this whole resolution gate stuff. So if you look at this, Xbox has to tiptoe. It doesn't seem fair, but it's just because they're the bigger dog on the block when it comes to money and things like that. And then there's just a different idea of where Sony is looked at as the little guy fighting as hard as they can for the gamers, instead of the big conglomerate that isn't going so much and not giving you the exclusives and things of that nature. That's what this generation is all about in a nutshell. So if Xbox did come with that aggression right now, it would backfire in their face.
It ain't,
now, Scarlet, if they do a little, if they start changing their tune, then it might resonate, but it still doesn't follow.
Listen, I'm not saying be anti-consumer and just go and just do whatever craziness, but you gotta show your customer base that you give a shit about them. You know what I mean? That you want to get them. That you want to get them these deals, bro.
Yo,
like,
and see what I'm saying is, in a perfect world, all right. You know, Xbox One, they're doing what they can until Scarlet comes out. They're not gonna go over the top right now. And I'm saying
they going over the top because they snatching up the creme of developers.
Do you think that's for Xbox One though? Is what I'm saying. It's
no
not,
doubt, but
not.
No, I know it isn't. But because of what has transpired with the Xbox One, it forced their hand. So kudos to Sony for making Microsoft become better, just like Microsoft made Sony become better, steal their whole shit and use it against them. My thing is, it's just the same way you guys want them to show something when it's far out, right? You want a teaser, right? You want that, right?
Hell yeah!
All right, that's what I want. I want to know that you
have nothing when you are really actually sparse. Yeah, go ahead, do that.
No, well, I'm one of the biggest advocates that's been saying, yeah, if they give us them little teasers that everybody asks for, you're just gonna say, well, that's it. They just showed the title screen.
Yo, Pred getting his ass whooped by this wolf right here, though.
I ain't get my ass whooped. Yeah, I would say it's okay for them to tease one thing, not everything, like Sony did. Like, you can't come out with teasers 4 years in advance for every fucking game you have. Like, show us something like this. Like I said, just one game, not like 5. Just one is fine, and I'm okay with that. As far as the marketing for this generation, we've discussed this at length many times. Like, they need to be more aggressive. Are they going to do the same deals they did back in the 360 era? No. Are they going to do the same stuff that Sony's doing right now and keeping content off of the other consoles? No. However, they do need to do something a little bit better than what they've been doing as far as the marketing.
I think they're going to, man.
I think they will too, because they're opening the checkbook now, and the real telltale sign is going to be with the marketing deals they have coming forward.
And that's what I think, man. That's what I think. It ain't that they didn't want to. It ain't that they didn't want to. It's that they
have the money.
They didn't have the guap. Yep. It's not that they didn't want to. They didn't have the money to do it. They didn't have the backing from homeboy. What's his name?
Look at their advertising the last couple of years. Like,
we didn't even get custom consoles, yo. We didn't.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
telltale sign's going to be Anthem.
Yeah. So it's just to me, it's this right here is where you. I'm not disagreeing with any of you guys saying, but it's just saying for what's going on right now, them trying to push to be aggressive right now
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. You do that when you drop the Scarlet and you have you have the xCloud out, and when you got all these marketing deals, and you have the exclusives.
Like, yo, look at it.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
That defeats the whole purpose, because you'll still have the naysayer saying, "Well, I haven't seen this, I haven't seen that. Well, what's going on here?"
Would you consider in the upcoming month, right? Mm-hmm. If they release Crackdown, right, which is already on Game Pass, right, but to entice people, a hot looking ass X, right, with a Crackdown bundle for 100 yuccas.
Oh no, I mean, are we going to? And it's going to be a topic here coming up here.
I mean, all right, we can move on. I'm just saying, is that considered aggressive? Because if that's not considered aggressive to me. That's just considered giving people what they want. There's nothing wrong with giving with sprinkling a little flavor on it. That's all I'm saying.
Because I know what you're saying. I agree with that point. But you were over here talking about because a family member of yours tripping over $10. Like, look, you misconstruing it. He copped it anyway. It ain't that he was tripping over $10. It's the point that it wasn't available. He was looking for it. Right. It wasn't even. They didn't even sell it. They didn't even sell it at all.
I feel like that's marketing from a deal that was like, a couple of years back that got finished or whatnot.
That's not something that
y'all missing my awesome kills right now on Battlefield.
I'm looking. Did you slow down the game?
I did. I did.
I I saw that, I thought my computer was messing up. I'm like, yo, like he doesn't do that, but yo, that's definitely hot. I feel like we can't really say anything about marketing until the newer hardware comes up. When it comes to newer games that are coming out like Crackdown, what I want to see is I want to see them advertise these things more. When you see like Crackdown coming out, when you see Gears coming out next year, in terms of paving the way for them to really like go all out when Scarlet comes out, I want to see improvements in at least marketing before the Scarlet comes out. That will give me a good sign that they are going to go in and really kind of double down on everything for when the new hardware comes out. I do want to give a huge shout out to AJ Felton, who said, you know, we're still going to see the fruits of future labors as like X1 owners. And yes, you are. The only thing is, I'm letting you know this right now, there's going to be no parity. All right, so games that are coming out on Scarlet, you'll be able to play them on your X1. But in terms of what could possibly be in there with the CPU and stuff like that, you're going to see a lot more of the game on the Project Scarlet in comparison to the Xbox One S
the way
or
it should
X.
be.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Well, yeah, when you're jumping hardware like that, yeah, you know, like mid-gen refreshes, I'm a little iffy about. But yeah. But guys, let's move on here. Let's since we're all warmed up and everything like that, let's talk about.
I wanted to make my point before we go, and I'll be quick about it because saying y'all start getting on this Destiny trash. Let me just say that. I mean, look, for everybody that likes Destiny,
you hater. You just a hater, man.
Anyway, I just wanted to make the point about.
Yeah, he liked that whack ass game though. That RPG. I forget what it's called. That Nintendo shit.
Yeah. Anyway, check it out. Check it out though. The only point about the one thing about what Fred was saying earlier was talking about Battlefield is I think that EA. Well, I wouldn't say so much EA's vision, but the guy that quit DICE just a couple of months ago. His vision was to touch on every aspect and give gamers a classic Battlefield style to a modern feel and then build up because if you looked at their lineup, just think if Hardline didn't go away and if Star Wars didn't have the situation that it had. You would have had Titanfall, you would have had the more futuristic, more serious shooter, you would have had Star Wars, you would have had the sci-fi, more casual type of game for for just any and everybody, and for Star Wars fans. Then you would go down and then you would have Hardline. If Hardline was anywhere successful, if they stayed with if they didn't close down Visceral, then you just think of what Hardline would have been now under the Frostbite engine. Absolutely amazing. And then that would have been more modern and plus a different take because you're doing cops and robbers. Then you can look at the older Battlefields now, like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 2, and you would have a better lineup of games spanning from old time war to modern to even futuristic. But because that vision didn't happen, we have the situation that we have. So, these games take years to develop. So of course they already had this vision, but I don't think they knew that EA was going to get rid of Visceral, and they didn't know. And you got to blame EA, the parent company, because they tried to gouge people, try to do Activision with Star Wars, and then of course Hardline. The game came in with not a lot of content, but then they fixed it, but then they got rid of Visceral. So again, that was just my whole take on that.
All right. Well, people are telling me to turn up your mic, but Mega, if there's anything you can do, because as of right now, like you're as high as you can go, brother, on my end. All right. But guys, with all that being said, let's move on to something kind of
a topic.
Yeah. Let's go to our first topic of the night.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay.
Actually.
All right. Cool.
All right. So let's get into Cliffy B, I guess. He came out on social media. He let everybody know that basically he's done playing games. All right, I mean done making games. He's probably still playing games, but done making games. And I know last night on Crossfire, I kind of got into it with a few people on the panel. But it went from him to Jaffe and all this good stuff. But I wanna get everybody's opinion here about Cliffy B possibly retiring? Do you guys think it's a permanent thing? Do you guys think it's a play just for him to get some attention and eventually he'll be back? I don't know. Predator, what do you think's going on, Cliffy? You think we're done? This is it? No more Cliffy B?
Nah, man, I think he's taking a break, man. He's got to come up with some more ideas and get his creative genius back. I mean, in all honesty, but like, what has he done outside of Gears that's really been like it's really been like really good? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we remember him from Gears, but like we shun him for the last couple of games he's come out with. So
yeah, people went in on him for the last couple of games.
Yeah,
like, bad,
so
man.
I don't think he's done. Like, when you have this passion to do something like this, like, and you've been on the levels he's been at, you can't just turn away from that. So I think he's just going to take a break and step back from the gaming community for a little bit and come up with a new focus, maybe create another, studio, or maybe even work on another game, behind the scenes with somebody. But I don't think he's done. It's going to take him some time to kind of get back into the limelight, but he's very vocal in the community, and I just don't see a person with his personality leaving like this. If that makes any sense.
His personality sound like you were being nice there, but yo, Pred, I gotta ask you. All right, you're saying that he'll eventually come back. Now, you personally, and I'm not saying you're a psychologist or anything like that, but you personally, the time that Cliffy B is spending away, what do you think he needs to work on in order to come back and to be, like, more relevant than he was his past, like, 2 titles, man?
He just got to reinvent himself and stop chasing the money. Stop chasing, like, when Gears came out, like the work he did there was like, it was different. It was new, cover-based shooter. But like, and that was new back then, and it gave him a lot of popularity. But like, he's moved on and tried to evolve into something else and make other games. But I could see him going the GoFundMe route. I hate to say that, but I can see him doing that and getting money for a game like that. But I think the backlash on what he's done and how he's responded to the community with the games he's created recently will kind of hinder people from putting money into it. But if it's a solid idea, it's something fresh, and he can get the funding for it some other way, I think the community, if it's a really good game, at least halfway fucking decent game, will help him. But right now he needs to go back and reflect on some of the things he said in the community and some of the things he's done, to the fans and like out there. Like a lot of people don't have any respect for him right now. So
like shitting all over Xbox gamers at a certain point in time because he thought he was going to have so many people buying his game on PS4, man.
And even when people were like, like, yo, bring it to, make it like a free-to-play game on Xbox. And at that point, he was like, okay, I remember tweeting him, and he responded to me. And he was like, he didn't respond. He just like liked and retweeted my comment. But like I was like, to make it free-to-play on Xbox, I'm sure people will come over. But like, you put a game like Lawbreakers on a console that isn't really known for multiplayer shooters. That was your own fault. That's the deal you went with. Whereas you could have said, hey, that's a new game, it's on Xbox, I'm the creator of Gears. Boom. Gone with that, and people would have been, oh, it's Cliffy B. I think he'd have had a little bit more, a little bit, and then made it like, crossplay. Boom. I mean, he had options, but he chose to go with the money that Sony gave him, which I don't know how much it was, but that's the route he took. He took the money, he took the high road.
Yeah.
Instead of taking your passion and whatever ailments you had with Microsoft back in the day, you should have just put it on fucking Xbox and just dealt with it and just been happy with it. Or made it multi-plat. But you took the money from one company because they were being greedy and you were being greedy, and it turned out to be a piece of shit. So fuck them, that aspect of it. But right now, dude, sit back, reflect, and maybe you can come up with something. That other game he talked about with the dragonflies, whatever it was.
Dude, I think that was just out there to cushion the fall, to be really honest with you.
You're right. I think that was just like, well, I tried to make other games, and this is what it was. And you guys said no. Well, there's a reason.
You guys said no.
And there's a reason why they said no. And maybe it was a shitty idea. Maybe it wasn't pitched well. But like, he's got to sit back and put someone in PR to tell him to shut the fuck up and let PR do their job.
Dude, I gotta say,
that's what killed him.
Yo, man, Predator, I agree with you 100% in terms of the whole PR thing. I feel like if he's gonna come back, he needs to go out there and meditate and kind of like humble himself. In terms of the games themselves, I played the Lawbreakers beta, all right, and I gotta say, it wasn't bad, yo.
It wasn't bad. I played it on PC. It wasn't that bad.
He shot every single one of his developers in the foot every time he went on Twitter, yo. Every single time. Like, he took food out of their family's mouths because of his ego. And that's where I feel he went wrong, yo.
Here's my message to Cliffy B. If he's ever listening to this podcast, take a page out of Sean Murray's playbook, right? That game he came out with sucked when it came out. And some people liked it. There were a few people who were okay with it, but for the most part, it sucked overall. And he came back and he fixed it and he made it better. And it's so decent, I guess. And a lot of people kind of came around after he came out with it on Xbox and came out with a couple of patches. But like, humble yourself and put your vision behind the game you created. Show that passion, and maybe people will come back to the game. But Lawbreakers was dead.
Blades in the chat, he is messy. He was like, when his wife isn't a teenager anymore, is when he's gonna come back to making video games. Damn, man.
Cold-blooded.
Yo, and shout out to Depletion Gaming. I see Knox was shouting him out in the chat. Yo, we want to shout him out, as well as everybody else. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share this out on whether it's Twitter or Facebook. I want to see us. We are almost at 100 people watching right now. I think we can go over that, people. But with that being said, let's go to K Mega. I want to hear Mega. I know you have been a gamer for a long time. I think we all have on the panel. So I know you have heard Cliffy B's name in the gaming industry and stuff like that. So what do you think? Is he gone for good? Is this all we're gonna hear? Like, no more Cliffy? You think he's gonna come back? And if you do think he's gonna come back, what do you think he needs to work on for kind of like a triumphant like return to gaming, man?
Well, no, I mean, he's too young, too talented to be gone forever. I just think it's just like a lot of people when you get on, so when you know, a lot of these developers aren't really used to this whole social media, you know, where everybody is a dev, everybody is a executive, everybody has money. You know what I'm saying?
You got to make yourself louder again, brother. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can't. I don't know, man.
Dude, what is going on with your microphone, dude?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Can y'all hear me?
It's still pretty much the same. Now? I know Pred was going to hit up the chat saying you need to do it again. So.
Okay, hold on.
All right, guys, we're gonna entertain you with some dead silence for a minute as he fixes his microphone. No, we're not gonna do that.
Okay, what about now?
Oh, it sounded better. Do you have like a loose connection, wires or something?
I don't know.
There you go. He's back, people.
Okay, all right, I'm back.
All right, my bad, brother. I just had to let you know before you went through your whole opinion, and it was like, yeah, we hardly heard you, man.
So basically, that's what I was just saying. Like, social media, it will, if you're not used to it, then it's gonna put a burden on you. And even if you are used to it, just people out there, they think that they know more than what you do. They think that they are inside of themselves. So I mean, it's just kind of like he lets out his frustrations. He's one of those type of guys that just opens his mouth and say what he feels, and maybe sometimes it's not the right thing to say. And so no, he's too talented to be gone. He's too young. It's just, to me, is that he got humble. You know what I'm saying? He got the money, and for what he tried to do, it just isn't the same. It's just like an artist. You know, once an artist, when they do their first album and it goes big, you can tell because they put their passion into it. They hungry. They want to get to that spot. But once they get there, sometimes these people don't have that same type of motivation. And that's, you can kind of tell with this game. The game wasn't bad, no, but it had a lot of issues, and to shun off Xbox gamers, and to also, and then basically he tried to cater to the PlayStation group, and just like Fred said, it just wasn't the same because they're not into shooters as much as PC gamers and Xbox gamers are. So but to alienate them is the same kind of situation that old dude from Titanfall 3. I mean, sorry, from Titanfall. I can't think of the name of that studio.
From Respawn, right?
Yeah, Respawn. I was gonna say Remedy, but I knew it started with R. Anyway,
Dude,
but
you
just
got
I'm saying,
Remedy on the brain, man.
I love Remedy. I love them. Anyway, so the thing of it is just like, look, you kind of feel yourself, you gas yourself up, and then next thing you know, boom, you try to act a little different, act a little cocky, and then he just got humbled overall. So he's not going nowhere. His game wasn't that bad, but he tried to go to the bigger demographic, which I totally understand. I mean, anybody I think that would be in the business, you look at somebody that's over here outselling a console 2-to-1, you're going to want to have more people to have exposure to that. But I'm also want to see if I could try to get this game out to as many people as I can to try to do it. And also he spent his own money. He did say in that tweet where he said he was done that, like, look, I paid my own money out of my pocket for these people to have their 401ks, to make sure that they had nice little nest eggs in order for them to go on to the next thing. We wasn't trying to get the studio closed. It just things happen. Shit happens. So it is what it is. I felt bad in that aspect, but then overall I do not, because he opened his mouth too damn much, and so he just got humbled, and so he'll be back.
What do you think about people out there that are saying like he should join the coalition in some way or another? Do you really think like the coalition needs him?
No, I think that what if anything, that I think he wants to be an independent guy. He doesn't want to be into that. I think he feels that he is too big to be under anybody's umbrella. But if that ever to happen, like if an Amazon, because everybody has a price, you know what I'm saying? Let's
I didn't even think about bullshit. Amazon or Google coming in and being like, "Hey, do you want to do something here?" Yeah. No, PlayStation ain't gonna have the bread to try to acquire him. It would be either Microsoft, Google, or Amazon, and everybody has a price. And if the one thing, if like let's just say Microsoft would say, "Hey, look, you can have your own studio." And hey, maybe you could come in here and link up with some of your people from the old Gears of War days, and give your insight. You'd be dope. So it'd be cool. But what I'm saying, like that, I just don't see him. I think he likes to be a nomad. I think he likes himself being his own boss, unless unless he goes to something a bigger new ambition. Yeah. Well, no, I know. I'm just saying. I think that maybe that bridge is burned with Microsoft. That's why I say Google or Amazon. I think that would be a good fitting start for him to have his own. Hold on. Xbox, they are the inventors of the Kumbaya candle. All right, you cannot burn a bridge with them like forever, man. Let's just be real here. But
hey, Brian, you know what I'm saying? Let me get with the money that these people are offering, they're acquiring. You know what I'm saying? You can say hiring, it's acquiring. If they sit there paying you millions, bro, that's acquiring. Yeah. You're mine.
You gotta think about it, because we discussed this in the past too, where like you pick up someone from one of these major studios, like look at the names being thrown around. They've been picked up from from Crystal Dynamics, and the list goes on and on. Like, you bring the head honcho over, guess who he's bringing with him? Those people that work under him. So you're basically acquiring them. You're acquiring those people and their assets. Because I swear to God, if I get hired,
though, I'm gonna agree we're not acquiring people per se.
Bullshit, dude. if I get a raise or I get a job right now and they say, "Hey, do you have any other podcasters?" Guess who I'm calling? All y'all motherfuckers. So guess who's all like you're all coming along.
No, I'm just playing.
We are acquired, bro. We are acquired. And look at this gameplay, baby. Look at this highlights with the bolt.
I'm sorry,
rifle.
I was nodding off, about to go to sleep. Like,
stop it.
I'm just saying. But no, okay. I'm not even in the voting. I don't have to do any of that tonight. I'm not in the voting. I was the winner last week. I'm good, man. I should.
There he is. There's my prey. Bink.
Dude, I gotta say, between K-Mega and Predator, I love how much you guys love Battlefield. Like, every time a Battlefield comes out, man, every time a Battlefield comes out, we should probably do like a special show with you two guys and just have you go back and forth with what you're hyped about for like the next battle.
Hey, I'm telling these dudes, don't bring a pistol to a sniper fight, baby, because I got you.
Yeah.
Headshot, baby. Get out of here. Anyway.
All right, yo, Knox, man. Like I said, everybody on this panel, we've been gaming for a while. It is not only a hobby, but it's pretty much a lifestyle. So I know you know who Cliffy B is. Do you think he is gone from the gaming industry for good, man?
I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. I
think he's gone. I think he's gone, yeah.
I mean, like I said, I don't know. I doubt it, though. It would be a shame if he is. Let me approach it that way. This is a dude responsible for one of my favorite game franchise of all time. You know what I mean? So
responsible.
Oh, no doubt. But he had a lot to do with it.
I just gotta call it how I see it, man.
All right, but he was the face of it. Your man should have been a little more humble. I agree. He played himself, especially to his Xbox fan base, because they really had a lot of love and admiration for the guy. You know what I mean? He was Gears, regardless of the fact you say he didn't contribute, but he was Gears. He walked out on that stage with that Lancer chainsaw gun, bro. You know what I mean? And it would be a shame, bro, because the dude is good at what he does, regardless of his past efforts right now, his most recent past efforts. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, maybe he can go reevaluate himself. Maybe he grows a little more. You know what I'm saying? And he could come back. You know what I mean? Should we run out and try to go acquire him? Hey,
that's going to be the theme tonight.
I mean, should Microsoft do that? My opinion, no. They don't need to. Now, if he wants to go to them and try to have a sit down with them or market himself, absolutely. He can market himself. He's got that talent, and there's no doubt about it. So we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes. It would be a shame if he is permanently out the business. I think he still has a lot to offer. I think it was you yourself that said he's a young man, and he can still offer a lot to my favorite hobby.
His battle royale game, I thought had potential. I thought they rushed it out there way too quickly. You know what I'm saying? They got like a working kind of like version of that game, and they just threw it out there as quick as they could. But if they had a little more time, a little more budget, a little more polish, I thought that game was really cool. And like I said, I played the Lawbreakers beta, and it wasn't that bad. Like I had to kind of like defend the beta a couple times to people. They're like, "Oh, that's just trash," and so I'm like, "No, it's actually a lot of fun if you get into it." Now it's whether or not you're going to have enough content there to support a community for a while, and I think that was probably the biggest issue with that game, in my opinion. But so you think he could come back? What do you think he needs to work on? I know you said he has to be humble. Is there anything else like you feel like he would have to work on, for him to come back and be successful?
He's got to go back to his roots, bro. Do a passion project, what he likes. That bullshit he threw out, that fake Overwatch he threw out is exactly what it was. A fake Overwatch. You know what I mean? Much. Yeah. He tried to roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, he tried to jump in on the bandwagon on what's hot right now. Doesn't work, bro. Do what you like. Do them passion projects. I'm not a fan of Sunset Overdrive, but isn't that what that studio did, right? That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to make that game, right? They came to Xbox to do that game. Mm-hmm. Bungie wanted to make Destiny. Microsoft wouldn't allow them to do it. They went and then they jumped out of the frying pan and into the fire with Activision. They went to make the game.
Signed a deal with the devil on that one, man.
Shit.
Let me make another point here. I just, what I'm saying, I have to be real here. Why is it that nobody's Arthur Morgan look as clean as mine? Look at my man. He looks clean, got the Clint Eastwood old school hat. You know what I'm saying? Looking clean with Dutch. You got what's going on? Y'all dudes look.
My man went through battle. I don't know the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, you gonna see what I want to be clean GQ while I bust ass. That's what I do. Anyway,
I just want to know how your boy Arthur looked at the end of your story. Was he still?
Sure. Anyway, let's go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Knox. I'm sorry, bro.
Nah, man, that's about it for me with the whole Cliffy thing.
Yeah. We definitely need to move on. He is supposedly moved on. I don't feel like I'm the only one on the panel. I feel like he's pretty much done. He's good to go. He's going to still be, raking in money from past projects and stuff like that. I think he's fine, and I think we probably won't see him around anymore. At least not in terms of like gaming development. Maybe he'll go into something, maybe gaming news wise or something like that. We'll have to see. Kind of like a retired NFL, football player ends up at ESPN or Fox News. Maybe, something like that will happen. But
consultant, yeah, he'll get paid.
I think he's done over here though, guys. And I will be the only one.
You think he's done?
Yeah, I think he's done.
I don't know. Again, I don't know. It'd be a shame.
It's not an idea to work for them.
No, I mean it's good. It's good to have a difference of opinions though. And if I have to go out there on the plank with a different opinion than you guys, I'm gonna do that. But let's move on to hardware. I don't think we really covered the PlayStation 5, kind of like the rumors of the specs and the hardware and everything like that. According to the rumors, they are going with a Ryzen CPU 8-core. People are talking Navi architecture with the GPU, basically 7 nanometer silica, really power efficient. I'm not sure where they're going in terms of the system memory. I saw something about GDDR5X, and I'm not even sure if that's really a thing there. But people are talking about between 11 and 12 T-flops when it comes to this console. Let me go with, I haven't really talked hardware with Knox, so I'm going to go to Knox first on this. I'm pretty sure you heard the rumors, the specs, the leaks. I got to ask you, does any of it surprise you? Does it seem like this will be what the PlayStation 5 is? And is there anything shocking? Because in my opinion, this is what I was expecting. So what do you think, man?
No, I was gonna say right quick that you forgot to mention the flux capacitor and the plutonium chamber that's also in. Nah, but
and Fred is messy as a motherfucker out here on these chat streets. But go ahead, Knox. I got something for his bitch ass.
That sounds about right, bro. Like I do think that's very possible. You know what I'm saying? Now, are you gonna get all that for $500? Are people ready to shell out that money? Because, like I said, man, the X set the bar. Ain't nothing going forward that's gonna be less than that $499. And if you getting all of that, bro, that's not cheap. That stuff. I mean, by the time it'll be 2 years, right? 2020. That Ryzen stuff. That still be relatively young hardware. You know what I mean? That's just becoming popular now. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna be cheap, bro. That's $599. That's $599 right there, bro. And that's me being like friendly about it. And if it comes with Rob and the Zapper and the Power Glove and the VR and all that other shit, then that's 900 yuccas and ain't nobody gonna buy it. So I really hope they don't do that.
See, and that's another thing, because people are talking about PlayStation VR and talking about PlayStation VR 2, and some people are thinking because with the rumors of the VR 2, they're not going to have that little box to plug into your PlayStation. People are like, oh, they're putting the box into the system. I want to let people know the reason why that box is there is because the PlayStation 4 itself wasn't powerful enough to do VR, and it kind of it set off the balance with that little box there. So they're not necessarily taking that little box and putting it in the PS5, but what it is that system will be powerful enough to do VR without that little set box on the side. I just wanted to put that out there to people. So you're thinking it's going to be more like $600? We know, Knox, that is a cursed number in console gaming. Do you think that would swing, man?
Guys have to be realistic, man. You want these powerful units, man. You got to get ready for that, man. it ain't gonna be, if you don't want to pay that, man, then get a Switch. I mean, I don't know what to
he
tell.
went down the switch on that. Oh no!
Here we go, new knee. K-Mega wins automatically, baby.
Everybody in the chat, please
try
to stay awake through this game.
Show that beautiful game.
That's that whack Nintendo game that I was.
Hey, bro, don't you knock my Noonie Cooney, bro. Don't you rock it. Don't you rock it. It's fire.
Talking trash about my Destiny, man. Only I can hate them.
Look at this shit.
Because I love them.
Great. Look at that. Little animals and shit you can use for weapons. Get them. Look at that big awkward looking bird up. Flame on.
Wow. All right.
Cody, baby. Let's go.
Listen, but seriously, man, I mean, I really think that this hardware is going to, it seems very possible. We'll see.
But like I said, seems likely. But here's the thing, Knox. Check this out. Phil Spencer said that they are no longer, gonna hand over that power crown. That they're gonna hold it from the X moving forward. So, like, do you really think it's possible that the Scarlet will be more powerful?
I don't see how either of them can be more
T-flops. That's a banger right there, man.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see how either of them are going to be one more powerful than the other. I think they're going to be pretty much on an even playing field. It's the only way that it's going to be kept economical, and then it's going to go over to what the one platform offers over the other. Is it going to be the exclusives? That's why Microsoft is getting all these studios, right? Is it going to be the services? You know what I'm saying? Is it good? They're both doing it. Sony already got the exclusives. Microsoft is building their staple up, right? They're building their staple up to get it done. Now, Microsoft is dropping. They're doing their Game Pass thing. Sony's catching on. They're like, oh shit, man. We shitted on our fans with this streaming nonsense and making them pay for it. Maybe we got to get backwards compatible and let them be able to play stuff they already own. Microsoft is doing that, you know what I mean? So that's what it's going to be about. PlayStation already has the reputation of that ease of use. You know what I'm saying? That user interface is easier, as Microsoft's is somewhat more difficult, according to people. To me,
I'm used to it. I'm used to it, so I really can't say it. But I will say, when I did get my PS4, just because I wasn't used to like certain places where they put certain like settings and stuff like that, I had a hard time navigating it. But then again, I didn't own any PlayStation since PlayStation 1 when I got the PS4, so I wasn't really used to the whole kind of like user interface anyway. So, but I mean,
bottom line for me, I think they're gonna both be relatively the same. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you're gonna see that difference of the 900p 1080p, which to me was not a big deal at all, but everyone made it one. But I don't even think you're going to see that. I think they're going to be pretty much the same, and it all's going to boil down to what they got to offer that's going to entice you to come to that platform. That's what it's going to be about.
I got you, brother. I got you. Well, let's go. Let's go to Predator here. Now, I know Predator, he gets into like gaming news, he gets into rumors and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure, Pred, you saw kind of like the rumored specs for the PlayStation 5. What do you think? Does it seem legit to you, man? And Knox brought it out there. They said $500. He's saying $600. What do you think, man?
I didn't even look at the specs, to be honest with you, because
I did repeat them though on this show. Like right.
I heard you, and I'm like, I dismissed that because I'll wait until it comes out, because we had all these fucking rumors about what the Scorpio was going to be like.
I love talking rumors,
man. And I'm like, I'm not even putting myself down that fucking rabbit hole.
Where's the Don? I need the Don in here, yo. What the heck?
Yeah, I know, right? So you can be like, that's wrong.
And then I can argue with him.
But Pred, right, when you was hearing all that price stuff, right, like with the X, what were you expecting it to be like? Realistically,
I actually thought it was going to be about 500.
All right.
I was hoping it was going to be 4, but I expected 5. Yeah, I went there with the worst of the two.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be 5.
Some people were talking 6. I totally dismissed that. I was like, there's no way they're going to go 6, and I stuck with 5 in my mind, and so I just roll with that. And I think $500 for,
hey, there's
the PlayStation.
There's the Don in the chat. Fake.
Did you say that? Yeah. So I can't I think 500 is a max that any console could get away with, and even if Google or Amazon came out with one, it was 500. I think that's the max they could do, and I would even question that because they don't have the credibility that anyone else has. Like if Nintendo came out with a $500 console, I would scratch my head over that too. Like I think Xbox and PlayStation can get away with that. No one else can, and that's just me being legit. I would have a really hard time going with the Amazon console at $500 if they came out with a console. I would like, scratch my head over like, what the fuck? Show me something first, like. But I didn't look at the specs, but looking at the market right now, as far as GPUs and stuff goes, if they came out with a $500 console, I think it would just be a little bit better than what the X is right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. This next gen, bro, guys have to expect this. I mean, for me anyway, bro, those specs, if true, and Microsoft is going to match it.
I love this
like
talk right now.
Phil Spencer said he wasn't going to let that happen again, and I believe him. I believe he ain't going to let that shit happen again.
Well, if you believe him, then what the hell do you think they're going to do with Scarlet to kind of, because
he's not matching it is not letting it exceed it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
If it's
I
on
think
par,
they'll match it. I think they will go above it. Honestly, and I think
then they're gonna then Microsoft's gonna take an L. If they go above it.
No, they won't. I'll give my
sell at a loss.
I mean, they're gonna take.
That's my reason.
Yeah, what I mean is they're gonna sell the system at a loss. If they do that to just to get that power narrative on their side, because
what they'll make it up at Game Pass.
Exactly,
Services,
and they could do that. We'll see. It's an exciting time, bro.
Oh, that is interesting, Predator, making up the money. Where Knox was like, well, they could possibly come in, selling them at a loss, and then Predator coming in saying like, hey, they'll make the money up with Game Pass. That's really interesting. Mega, what do you think about this, man? What do you think about the specs? We're talking anywhere between 11 to 12 T-flops graphically here, 8-core Ryzen. Like, do you think this sounds legit in your opinion, man?
Look, again, I don't, when people get into all those the technical side of everything, I do think that I definitely know that it will be more powerful than the X.
Okay.
How much more? I'm not sure. I do know that this will be a 4K 30 machine like the X. It also will be a 4K
well, they're saying
60
4K
machine.
60. Steady.
I know. Yeah, I know that. And if they do that, if they achieve that, then that system is going to be 500 plus. And then also if they're going to have a different version, which I do believe this is that they'll have a different version of VR. And you're talking about a package deal of close to $1,000, just like it was with the PS Pro and when the VR first came out.
Like
you were talking about
it, something like that, man.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but you're talking about 1,000 because this system is going to be 500 plus if it's going to be 4K 60. There's no way that it's going to be 400. When Pred said he was hoping there was going to be 400, I don't know why, because that would make me very scared as a consumer because PlayStation is not going to take a loss. They can't take a loss.
I was talking about the Xbox One X.
He was talking about the X, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the PlayStation 4. They can't. So anybody, and look, I've seen diehard PlayStation fanboys on Twitter post themselves that if the blue PlayStation is $500, it's an L.
Sony can't sell this at a loss financially. They can't.
They can't. But they have to. So that's why I say if it's going to be more powerful than the X, but it's not going to be too much powerful, because if it is on the scale of what that you showed, then you're looking at 500 or more, and that's not going to be very appealing to a lot of people that already bought a PlayStation 4 or just recently bought a PlayStation 4. And the fact that
500 for a system that'll do 4K 60, I think that's
There's a lot of
good
people.
Deal, man.
Remember, there's a lot of people that there was even PlayStation fanboys talking point that there's a lot of people that don't even own 4K televisions. So why would that matter?
Yeah, but when it comes to their piece of plastic, they will talk totally different, man.
We know that.
This.
Well, let's go back to last gen. They said
that.
1080p 60. Does that work out for them?
No, it didn't, and that's what I'm saying. They're gonna. This is the point where Xbox has all the cards in their favor. Mm-hmm. Because we're going to see if PlayStation is really going to take a loss. And if they're going to take a loss, which they look like they might, they're going to have to bring a powerful system because it has to be more powerful than the X. There's no question. That's why they were so surprised at how powerful that the X was if you've seen that they gave their first congratulations to Microsoft by saying, "Oh,
you are lightly scratching at something I've been thinking since we started this whole thing." Because, Phil said that he's not relinquishing that power crown. That narrative is going to stay with Xbox. And I'm thinking to myself, I have the X right here next to me. They're using Jaguar cores on this thing.
Optimized, by the way.
So even if the PlayStation 5 and Scarlet have the same exact hardware in there, Xbox can optimize it the way they did with the X. You saw what they did with the Jaguar, the ancient cores.
Right.
With the Jaguar, man.
Right. And this is where the point where I was disagreeing with my boy here on this one right here. It is Game Pass will be a selling point, but what is the ultimate selling point is the S. That diskless S and the X. That's where they can recoup all of their money. They can bring out the Scarlet and say $600, and they'll be, "Oh, you Xbox fanboys is lost." No, they haven't.
But you saying with the S, you think the S is going to be relevant by next gen? I think they're phasing it out now.
The diskless S, not the regular S, the diskless S, because from the rumors that I've been hearing, and it makes more sense every time that I hear more about this shit, that they can put more components into that thing by taking out that disk drive to make it a 1080p machine.
But I don't think they would.
But then
do
they're
that
gonna have
they're gonna fracture the community that has an S.
That's not no. That's not fracturing. Look, it's just like this. Okay, so I'm on. When I get online with my girl, Lady Infamous, right? She wants to upgrade. She still has
Shout
the fat.
out to GWG, by the way.
Shout out to GWG.
I was checking out their show this
morning. She still has the fat. There's still people that I know that has the S, don't even have the X yet. They're still entertained. They still look at Red Dead, and they have a 4K television or whatever, or 1080p television, and they're still enamored. They're still excited. They still think the game looks amazing. And well, I can't say they think, they see it with their own two eyes. The eye isn't within the beholder. The S drops down to $150 or less. That's a win. The X Cloud is $100 to $150. That's a win. The X drops to next year around $300. That's a win. You can pull off another $500 console, or if this console is balls to the wall, the best, the biggest, and the baddest that we've ever seen ever in the history of gaming, they can even say, "Look, you want the creme de la creme, the most dominant console that you've ever experienced in history? This bitch is $600." And I know for a lot of people that's way too rich for my blood.
That's a cursed number, bro.
That is a cursed number, but you have all the rest of the options. So for people, they could trade in their X. They could go in there. They could trade in, get a good ass. And we're talking about we're seeing where PlayStation is going to do what PlayStation is going to do with their situation with the 5, and what Xbox is going to do to match it. So that's why I say the PlayStation is going to come first, because Xbox is going to wait.
I got to disagree.
It's the perfect solution. The X is something different than the Pro.
What I'm saying is, if they try to keep a diskless S as like their, let's say, low spec machine, right? Right. It will still. There's certain games that no matter that you just can't run. You need a certain minimum on your PC to run those games. It'll be the same thing, and the S will be too outdated for it. Unless they're gonna push something new. Because you're gonna get the Scarlet, right? You're gonna get this streaming box, supposedly, right?
Sir, clear the way for your moderator real quick, man. See what Mega is saying in the S that doesn't have a disc tray. they have room to add in more components to make it more powerful. I say that's not going to work because the people who originally have an S with a tray are going to be like, you know what? Fuck you, Microsoft.
No,
We're
they're
making
not.
that more powerful.
No, they're not. They didn't when we were the first adopters to get in the X and paying $500 for the Kinect, and they dropped the
digital.
They're not forcing
on
anything.
it at the low end. They won't do that.
No.
Yeah, won't.
You know that's when you talk about business, that is the perfect strategy because, and I totally disagree because cell phones do it all the time. When they said that they're trying to do, when the media said that that both of these companies are trying to do the cell phone thing, it makes perfect sense. This is for every tier level that there is. There's people that have Obama phones. There's people that have the iPhone X. There's and it doesn't matter what degree you are, as long as you still have a phone that you are comfortable with. That's all matters to that individual. So for another person getting pissed off about a diskless X being 1080p. And your S
they'll be pissed
that you
off
bought
over that S. That S being supported. They can trade it in. They can trade it in. S, man. That's what they would be pissed off about.
What Xbox can make, what Xbox can alleviate that is that you can trade give a rebate. They can trade in that old S or the fat, and you can get a rebate. So they can get rid of those diskless S's out there and those fats, so they could just start having nothing but the diskless S's and the Xbox One X's and the Scarlets. That's the smartest strategy that Xbox can do on that front.
Yo, first off, shout out to the Don who he is saying in the chat that the One S without a disc tray, that is in all actuality the streaming box. That's what he's suggesting right there. And if that turns out to be, it's got to be $150. It cannot be $200.
No, it's going to be it's going to be cheap. It's going to be $100 to $150. I promise you that. Well, I can't promise you. I have no fucking clue, but I'm saying
I got to
make sense. I'm sure.
I got to pay the bills, man. I got to pay the bills, yo. Shout out to Sleepy Goblin, who is usually one of the first 5 people, waiting in line for this show to go live. He hit up the super chat. I actually really love hardware news, even if it's just rumor. Love you guys. Thanks for the entertainment. And brother, thank you for all your support. I really do appreciate it. I love hardware news and rumors and stuff like that as well. You're going to be hearing a lot of that on this channel. Yeah,
it makes just perfect sense. That's why Xbox is looking at it from the standpoint of we're not leaving anybody behind. Because even when they do have the people that will just now start adopting to get the fat, if there's any more left, or the disc left, because there'll be those consoles and pawn shops and places like that. So people will still gravitate to them and get them. And then, like I said, Xbox doesn't really have to worry about having their new console, be at a certain price point because of the fact that they have the X. That's something that PlayStation does not have, because I guarantee you there's only going to be 2 different types of PlayStation gamers out there. There's going to be the PlayStation 4 gamers, and there's going to be the PlayStation 5 gamers. And the Pro is going to be irrelevant once the PlayStation 5 drops. Because that system is not as comparable, and we don't even know what kind of backwards compatibility and how much of that backwards capability is going to be. I don't see them going as far back as what Xbox does. I see them doing certain PlayStation 4 games, not all, and maybe a few PlayStation 3 games, if not none.
Well, they do have patents
very limited
for emulation and stuff moving forward. Now it's whether or not they're going to use it to go, back before the PS4 in terms of backwards compatibility. I feel that Xbox has a kind of like a step in the right direction when they go forwards compatible, and I think that's what's really kind of like fueling this argument right there, is because the newer games, they are going to be playable on Xbox One, whether it's an X, whether it's an S, and everything like that. So you still have the gamers out there who don't necessarily jump into new hardware, still buying the software and still kind of like fueling the development for new games and stuff like that, which I feel is a great idea. All right. In terms of the newer S that's been rumored without the disc tray, if it's the streaming box, then I feel like it's got to be $150 or less. If they do it like that, then I'll look at it with maybe a different set of glasses on. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I did have one more question when it came to the new hardware. We're hearing all these rumors and stuff about PlayStation. We have not really heard anything about Project Scarlet and everything like that. So, you were the last one, Mega. I'm gonna start with you and then go through the panel. Who comes out first, man? Or does it matter?
PlayStation by far, because I think Xbox is holding their hand because they have the X. They have the X. That why talk about Scarlet when you want to keep promoting the X? The X is still the most powerful console until the PlayStation 5 comes out, which looks like 2020. That's a whole year of promoting the X. And then by the time that we get to next year, this time, Black Friday, you got a $300 X. That's going to be highly appealing, and
Dude,
Xbox can more focus.
To be $300, man. That'd be crazy right there.
Yeah, well, no, there's no doubt. I mean, it dropped $100 this Black Friday, so it'll drop down in cost, and that's why I'm saying, like, the whole idea of gamers not being left behind is the perfect strategy for accommodating to your customer, because there's some people that just don't give two fucks about power. And if they see anything that's $600 to $500 with a console, they're gonna be like, shit, that's more than my car payment. I'm not gonna worry about that. But the X at $300, I can rock with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying the PlayStation the PlayStation can be as powerful. The more powerful that the PlayStation is, the more money that it's going to cost. If that PlayStation is only just maybe a couple of terabyte, not terabytes, but T-flops more, like let's say it's 10
and
instead of 8.
Right there. That's
and by that time the X is already going to be rolling because developers are already going to be familiar with that hardware. The PlayStation, they're just now getting those dev kits and they're just now working on it, which also gives the advantage to Xbox because they also have a console that's already comparable and will be showing the same. Yeah, absolutely. If they go 2021, you're talking about giving the Xbox One X 3 years of developers working on that game, working on that system, and having games look maybe even in some cases better than the PlayStation 5. They can't do that. They got to do that. It takes time for these developers to get shit working unless it's easier for them to work on. We also got to know if the architecture is going to be easier for these devs to work on as well on the PlayStation 5. But it will come out first, in my opinion.
I got you. I mean, I think Sony learned their lesson with kind of like over-the-counter parts that are kind of optimized or whatnot. Because with the PlayStation 3, that whole like cell processor, that shit just didn't work. Most of that generation, man, that was kind of like their major downfall when it came to that console. So I think Sony really learned their lesson in terms of their hardware with the PS4, and I don't think they're gonna make a mistake with the PlayStation 5. I just don't feel that. I feel like games will look great on the X moving forward, but when PlayStation 5 drops, I feel like those games are definitely gonna look better than the X. You're talking almost double the graphical power, man.
Yeah, but it's just like with anything else, though, Bot. Like it's only going to be those certain type of games because PlayStation is not going to drop big, huge bangers unless they're holding on to.
Dude, they're holding on Ghost of Tsushima. They're holding on The Last of Us 2.
Okay.
They're holding on. Death Stranding will probably be a year 2 in the PlayStation 5 space, and it's funny because these Sony extremists out there, they'll be like, oh yeah, those games are coming in 2019. The same person who had like different leaks kind of like verified is the same person who said that those games are going to be launch titles for the PlayStation 5. And those people won't say that, but they'll talk about all the other like rumors and leaks and everything.
And I guarantee you it's just with nature. It's me being a gamer for so many years. They'll have their showpiece games on the PlayStation 5 that looks amazing, but I guarantee you what they're going to really bank on is showing that the games that they will allow to be backwards compatible, which is some of those PlayStation 4 exclusives, they'll be running 4K 60. Not so much about Ghost of Tsushima that'll probably be 4K 30. You see what I'm saying? While the X will be pushing games because developers are more familiar with that tech at that point, going on its second year, or going on to its third year, that will be pushing the same type of graphics because it's an older console. I mean, it just seems. I could be completely wrong, but I feel 100%. I feel 100% about this. Like I just feel that this is exactly how this is going to be played out.
You know, Mega. Like I said, I hear you, and in most instances, like I would agree with you. It's just that when it came to this generation, they finally got down pat like the engines that they're using and they're moving forward with. So I feel like this generation there was a lot of optimizing. Like we were working with really raw engines, and I feel like moving into the new hardware, there's not a lot of need for a lot more optimizing. You know, we're dealing with x86 architecture, and moving forward, I feel like they really don't need to optimize that much more. When you're looking at a system that's like double the graphical power, you are gonna see the difference over like the most powerful hardware from what we're dealing with now.
These consoles still have a lot of juice, Bob.
No, they do.
Still have a lot of juice.
I'm not gonna, that makes sense right there. But in terms of coming out with brand new hardware, I have a feeling the brand new hardware will definitely outshine the existing hardware now.
Later on when the devs get more time with it.
All right. Well, Pred, what do you think? Which company is coming out first, and does it really matter?
I think Sony's gonna come out first.
By a long shot,
no. Typically these consoles are released during the holiday season. I don't think. Man, it's really hard. I heard you vape again. I don't know if they can.
The juice is really good. It's cookies and cream. Like I'm drying my mouth out right now.
Let's put it this way. I can see a scenario where Sony comes out this year, right? And Xbox comes out with another console, maybe on par with what we have now. Maybe something really like we talk about the cloud stuff, whatever, on that level, but they have to back it with something else, like the cloud box versus PlayStation 5, but the cloud box has Game Pass and it's compatible with your PC and it works in all these other shit, but like I could see something like that happening, and then they discuss at E3 2019 what's coming out next year in 2020, right? I can see that happening because they've done that before, right? We've seen this. We've seen it with the S launch and the X announcement. So I can see them coming up with something on that side with the Xbox. I can see Sony coming out and discussing it, their PlayStation 5 at their PSX event, whatever the hell that's going to be, if that even is a thing this year. So I think Sony will come out first, mainly because they want to get a jump. Because
their news is their rumors are coming out first, so that usually suggests that they might be kind of like in the lead in terms of a release, right?
Look at the 360 era. Why did Xbox have such a big lead in the beginning?
They came out a year before the PS3.
They came out first, right? They came out first
for a year. They had a year under their belt before PlayStation 3 came out.
And for Sony to keep the momentum, as far as they're going to lose the power narrative overall. I don't want to get into this power war over consoles, but it's going to happen. So for Sony, they got to come out first because right now they have the weaker console, right?
I think the power narrative is I like it. I think it's more interesting on console anyway because you're dealing with a closed system that developers can get the most out of that power. You know what I'm saying? I like that argument more in console than I do on PC because you know, developing a game on PC, it's like, oh, it's just got to run with that. And
you run whatever specs you have.
It's usually just horsepower, where, you know, on console, it's the developers learning different tricks of the trade to get the most out of the hardware, man.
Yeah, and as Mega said before, like, we haven't even like scratched the surface on the Pro and the X. However, this generation slowly coming to a close because they want to start selling other consoles. Sony's bread and butter is selling consoles, right? That's how they make money. That's like, you know, that's the biggest thing. They don't produce anything else. Sony's like, their consoles is their bread and butter for the company. So what better way to make more money than to hit that bell curve?
They made a lot of they made a lot of money, third party like marketing deals with Call of Duty and stuff like that. Let's be real. They spent a lot of money, but that sold a lot of software on their platform as well. So
yeah,
like, they made money on that as well.
But their gaming division is what runs their company.
Yo, Pred, if you don't mind, I just gotta pay the bills real quick. Yo, Jazzy Noob hit up the super chat. Thank you, my brother. He said Blu-ray is from Sony, so licensing fees go to Sony. Scarlet will be about $450, $500. X will go to $300, $350. S will go to $150, $200, and the discless S will go to about $150. Now, I just want to let you know, Blu-ray, Sony is a part of a council of different companies when it comes to Blu-ray, so they will get part of it, but it's like I think it's like 13 other companies all put together.
Yeah. It's just like with Simply Gone and Havoc, where, you know, even though a lot of companies use those products, they're not paying a lot of money for, like, you know, it's like you pay a bulk fee for all those things, like, you know, I don't know if there's a percentage set aside.
Yeah, well, they're making some money off that, but they're not the sole proprietors. They're not the ones getting all the money. Yo, huge shout out to Cedric as well, hitting up that super chat. He's like, "What's up, next podcast, man? What's going on with you, man?"
What's up, Sid?
As I was saying before, like, I think Sony will come out first, mainly because I think they have to, just to kind of get that power narrative back in their favor. Whether it's 6 months or a year is a different story, but the smart thing would be to get it out sooner rather than later, because right now everybody has PlayStations. Everybody sees their advertisements on TV. They're the market leader right now, and the sooner they get out a new console, the better they are before whatever the fuck Xbox comes out with to trump them. So if they try to launch day and date with Xbox, I think the power part of it, I think Xbox will run with, take it. But you will still have the residual Sony fanboys. I don't call them fanboys. That's a bad term. The residual Sony consumers that will stay with that console, that will buy the next console, the whatever, the PS5, whatever. So they'll stay with those, and, you know, you'll have the mid-tier flip-floppers that will kind of go, I want to go with the best bargain, and that will lead the next gen. Those people that will pick up the PlayStation 5, I can see the PlayStation 5 being, again, the market leader, but I can see a lot of people kind of transitioning back over to Xbox because of all the investments and the money they're spending on third-party and first-party going into next gen.
All right, I got you, brother. I am looking at the time. We are running short. So, Knox, I want to hear what you think, like which one is going to come out first and if it really matters. But then we are going to go right into news that I know K-Mega thinks is a big deal. I want to see if everybody else thinks so. But what do you think about this, man? Which one's coming out first, sir?
I think they're coming out simultaneously,
too,
or a week or two apart. Sony is they don't need to rush to do this. They don't. Absolutely. They have all the cards in their hands. They got all the chips in their corner. There's no reason for them to rush.
They have all the silver, man.
That's it, bro. They got the silver, baby. $10. They got the $10. My dude, we called it when we did the live impressions. We said it. That's PS5. All of that. That was your preview to PS5.
Yeah, people
right
said
there.
no. People said no. We were like,
it is.
all right.
We've been said it. So they'll be going in strong. And so Microsoft are the ones that have to come out strong alongside of them. Because you already know whatever Sony touches is gold. That Last of Us, it's already flying off the shelves and it ain't even on sale yet. All right?
Yo,
You
bro,
got you got Kojima. Enough said. You say Kojima, game sells, and that new joint that the Ghost of Tsushima, what we'll see. It look alright, but the other two, that's it, bro. I think they come out simultaneous or a week apart. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
All right, I got you, brother. I got you. And I'm gonna do a really rough segue here and just be like, we're gonna go on to the next topic, and it's something that I know K Mega in the DM is like, yo, we're not going to talk about this, and I just forgot to write it in the topics, type it in there. But Microsoft opens up a new division in Asia, and I want to let people know exactly what this is. It is a regional team. It's there basically to close agreements with potential partners. It will be the representative for Xbox in the Asian territory, which includes Japan. It should deal with studios and developers to detect opportunities for different marketing deals, different games going onto the platform. So I know there's a lot of people out there when it comes to Japan. We all know Microsoft Xbox does not do well in Japan. All right, and there's people out there that's like, yo, you should just not worry about that territory and just move on and focus on like Europe and United States and kind of like the bigger markets out here. I think it's good news, but I'm not like writing home to mom about this saying, yo, this shit is crazy right here. Mega, you were excited about it. Why don't you share your feelings on why is this a big thing, man?
Man, this is huge because this was something that we was going to talk about on GRG, and we'll talk about it next week for sure. I just get a little bit more in depth. If you knew the history of Microsoft's shortcomings with Japan or just with the Asian market, you would just, and it starts all the way with the original Xbox. You would be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Now you would understand why Japan and how that market out there just doesn't give two shits about what Xbox does. With this being done, it shows that Xbox is taking things very seriously about that market. They're trying to make everything right. They're trying to work with, because you got billions of people in China. You have, you know what I'm saying? So if they're supposed to be bringing something in Shanghai, you have a place out there in Tokyo.
The team is going to move around. There's no real set place for them.
Well, it said Tokyo, Shanghai, and Redmond. So that means that they're probably going to be establishing in those areas. That, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, nothing's set in stone yet because it's just now being, it's just now starting to get finalized. But yeah. It's showing that that what Phil went out there and did to discuss with them, that this is what these people in Asia want. Like, look, show us that you're committed. And listen, I know that there's this myth that there's not Xbox fans that likes Japanese games, or that they don't give to
PlayStation people that don't like Japanese games. Let's be real here.
Okay, well, let's just say that to be real. But when you look at people, but this is the thing: Game Pass changes everything. You know what I'm saying? People don't like games that's $60 damn dollars. When you have games that's on Game Pass, when you've been paying your $9, and hey, like Attack on Titan. That's not on my, like for some people that's not on my radar, but if you see that in Game Pass, I'm going to go ahead and try it out. And if you love it, that gives more exposure than what PlayStation is going to offer. Now, we don't know if they're going to do something with PlayStation now that's going to mimic what Xbox is doing, but what this does is this goes after the market in a different way that Xbox has never done before. Plus, I think another thing is why Xbox is being so serious about this now is because of the other big boys that look like they're going to try to get into the gaming market as well. and they're worldwide as well. So it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Who cares about how many products that they sell as long as they can bring more options to the table? I don't give two shits about somebody who says, I don't like these Japanese games, because if you're not going to buy them, you're not going to buy them. But there are going to be people that do. And that will also sell consoles. So that's to me is
consoles
a big part.
In Asia is what you're talking about, right?
Just consoles everywhere. If you got a big budget game that's out there, that if you got a game out there that okay, let's just say like Persona 5. That got all this critical acclaim,
but like
it sold over 2 million. 2 million. It's the biggest in it. It sold 2 million, more than it's ever sold in its history, right?
That's
so.
Decent.
Well, okay, well, I'm just saying. But
2
the thing
million
I'm trying
on
to
over 80 million consoles out there.
Look, I've made that argument a million times, but the point I'm saying is that though it still is critically acclaimed. Xbox want to have games that's critically acclaimed on their system.
Brother, Yanni is critically acclaimed, but I'm not buying his CDs, man.
It doesn't matter, but you know what? If that shit was free to play, I mean, that shit was free from a service that you got, you might want to just listen to it, maybe once, just to see if it sucks as bad as you think.
It's not working on me, but you're a good salesman.
I'm just saying this is a perfect opportunity for Xbox to finally get their foot in the door and to take this shit seriously, to get the Asian market on their side.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm done.
Price is waiting. It's like, come on, man, give it to me. Yeah.
Oh shit!
What's up,
Get
Brett?
the fuck out of Japan.
Word. Thank you, Brett.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, like, I look at it this way: if you're going there to sell consoles, you're going there for the wrong reason. If you're going there to pick up studios, that's what you need to be there for, because there's a huge market for those Japanese games on the Xbox side. That's a division. That's a space that we're lacking.
But is it huge though? Like that's
it's not huge to me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's options. It's options. More options, the better.
Options, and I'm not saying don't do it, but in terms of
being narrow-minded is what leads people to fall on their ass.
Because we were labeled the shooter box forever, right? And one of the things that some of the PlayStation guys say about the Xbox is, we don't have enough of those games, right? So like now we have an opportunity to get them. So keep in mind.
Yeah, but they don't even buy them on their console either, though. Like, is what I'm saying. Like, people on the other side, they'll sling shit at you.
What we should do on our side.
They'll sling shit at you that they're not even going to do themselves. You should do that. You know what I'm saying? But when Persona,
I buy these games. I support these games.
Yeah, there's a fan base out there.
There's a fan base out there. These games wouldn't keep coming out if there wasn't a fan base.
That's why we have 5 personas.
Which is why I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just don't feel like it's the oh my god moment.
It's not oh my god moment. It's options. It's more options for these games to come over, and for us to not that are on Xbox. To not turn on our PlayStations if we get the same games.
At the end of the day,
you got Game Pass.
Period.
Hold on. That's at the end of the day, it's money.
Buy our software.
At the end of the day, it's money. So it's money that we were not getting. That I say we, but it's money that Microsoft was not getting from that side, because those games were never making it. Like look at Ninja Theory's game that never made it. Look at the Nier that never actually made it over to Xbox until later. Like, why wait to get these games on a console and come day and date with a competitor? Mm-hmm. And at least we have them now. Versus in the past, we never get those games. There's a lot of Japanese.
So you're talking like the games that didn't really have like that marketing deal to go on Sony first, but just did.
They just did, yeah. They never came to us at all.
It was just because Xbox didn't really have a presence over there. They
exactly,
didn't have
that's what I think. Saying. That's why I said it's not about if they're going over there to sell consoles. That's the wrong reason. If they're going to sell to market games for the console, that's different. And that's why I'm like, I don't really give a shit about them making money in Japan. I mean, that's why I say get the fuck out of there, because Japanese people don't want our console. That's been known. However, it's not a hindrance to us to want their games, if that's your forte. Like, and Microsoft sees that, because keep in mind, one of the biggest companies is Tencent. I think I'm saying that wrong.
The Chinese company, right?
The Chinese company, yeah, like that. They make a lot of Asian games, so like they make games that we never play. And if you can get into that, like, you know, get those games on Xbox, get those games on Windows 10, you know, get those games on your platform. At the end of the day, it's money, and that's all that we're talking about right now. Like the people, and I got slammed about this a couple of weeks ago, but like
the stocks,
yeah, like people like they want to talk about console sales, right? But at the end of the day, these are businesses. They're not worried about how many consoles sell. They're worried about how much money they're making. So like that's the using the metric of console sales is wrong for every fucking gamer out there.
well,
it looks good.
Sony's using that because that is the number that they are really ahead on.
Yeah,
so
and that's why they're using it. That's what they're ahead on. But if you look at money, what really matters, like, do you throw fucking consoles in a strip club? No, you throw fucking dollars. So like,
dude, can you picture that?
like, you'll throw controllers and shit. You know, like you don't pay bills with controllers, you pay bills with money. So yes, yeah, they have a lot of console sales, but how much money they're actually raking in because of that, and what are they doing with that money at the end of the day? And when you break down the divisions, gaming divisions versus gaming divisions, like it's different. Like I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's different. Trust me, it's different. But like, you know, when you see the, like, you know, Microsoft has no quarrel saying, hey, we made $1 billion in gaming revenue this year. They have no problem saying that at all, because that's how much they made, and that makes sense. It's a lot of fucking money.
Their shareholders are like,
yeah, but when you don't hear Sony saying that, though, they'll say, oh, okay, we're up 3% over the last quarter. Like, there's a big difference between the two. So, like, using the metric of console sales, that doesn't do anything, because they're selling these consoles at what? At loss.
Yeah.
So, like,
I'm like, hold on, at what?
So I mean, like, yeah, they make a lot of great games. They make a lot of great. I mean, they sell a lot of consoles, but at the end of the day, how much money they're making off those console sales and those games, and what are they doing? Because I was talking to someone in chat earlier. What are they doing with that money? Where's that money going?
Make new games.
They're not buying. They're making games, but they're not progressing within the gaming community like these other companies.
They're keeping their lights on.
Yeah, they're keeping the lights on, right? They're not buying. They're not
putting it into their insurance and real estate.
They're not keeping up with what the other companies are doing. They're not buying and investing in cloud tech and other stuff like that. Like the
if they are, we don't know about it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I follow that. I've not seen them pick up any cloud stuff other than Gaikai. Someone mentioned they picked up Famicom something. But like they're not investing in gaming right now. They're investing in their first party, yes, which is good, you know. But but they're not buying up, you know, anything. They're not like saying, okay, well, we need to put more money into the future. They're just saying, okay, we're good with what we got. Being typical.
Pred, our brother out there in the chat, Vladdy Putin. He's bringing up names like Final Fantasy, Jump Force, you know, games like that coming from Japan. And I know there are people that are excited for him, but at the end of the day...
Oh, so you're saying Jump Force and Kingdom Hearts is not going to sell?
At the end of the day, I still...
Don't sound like a fool, bot. Don't do that. Don't sound like a fool.
I still wonder how many people are going to buy those games, though.
Are you really?
Dude, you are a fighting fan. You're one of 4 people to buy Soul Calibur, man. Let's be real.
Oh my god, bro, you sound like an idiot right now. I love you to death, but you sound like a fool right now.
These games.
There's a huge fan base for those games.
There's a huge fan base for those games. Just because you don't, that is the narrow mind.
No.
Hold on. Let me make this point. Before you go any further with that. There's a huge fan base for these type of games. These games wouldn't be as big budget as they are if there wasn't that type of time. Look at Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Don't do that. Don't do that. I apologize for calling you an idiot. But it's just saying. But the thing of it is just that
I said I'm interested to see, because what I feel like when it comes to Japanese games.
But I hate this narrow mind thought process, because there's games that you don't like. I don't like certain type of games, but for me to say that
dude, you shoot me down anytime I talk Destiny. Yo, you're like, no, I don't want to.
Destiny is a huge property. I can't stand Destiny. That's a perfect point. But you don't ever say well, this and that. I say it's trash for me, but it's not. But for everybody else, for you and Knox, for everybody that loves it, that's great. For Mooch and you guys that love it, that is what it is. Like the one game, No Man's Sky.
How many Japanese games are? How many Japanese games are in Game of the Year nomination this year?
Who cares? That's just. What are you talking? Look, you know what? I don't know if what's called going to be. Final Fantasy 15 was in a nomination a couple of years ago.
Okay, so yeah, all right, you got one title.
So
I'm saying it's not the same place that it used to be.
It's definitely going to be in a nomination. It's going to win some award somewhere. And Zelda won last year, bro. That's a Japanese title.
Zelda's Nintendo. Nintendo can have their own country and be cool.
But it's a Japanese title, though.
I mean, Monster Hunter 2.
You act like these Japanese games have no relevancy.
I got you, Monster Hunter. That was a good point right there.
And Monster Hunter is also a game that's
That's why I said it's a good point, brother.
Options are always good, guys. Pred hit it on the head, though, in my opinion. If you in there to sell consoles, get out of Dodge. If you in there because you want to acquire studios and bring those titles over here or into your Game Pass, we all know that over there in Asia, you know, they real heavy into the portable scene and all that. You know, say they actually like that more than consoles right now. You know what I'm saying? And if Microsoft plans to really stream Game Pass to any freaking device, play on your tablet, play on your cell phone, play on your Obama phone, then this might be a good look. There's nothing wrong with them going over there. Just don't break the bank on it, but go ahead and make those moves, because it's true. We should have been getting them near alma mater joints day one when PlayStation got them, when Sony got them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, to stop the drought, you want these games. I don't understand this concept of that some of you guys have, to where it's like, well, it doesn't interest me, so fuck it.
Put it this way, it makes more sense to have them on your console than it does to not have them on your console.
Absolutely. But if they going over there to push Xboxes, they're never going to embrace anything from Microsoft console-wise. Not over Nintendo, not over Sony. Even with Sony making noise right now with their whole, like censorship joint that's happening right now, they'll still beat Xbox. They'll just will. You know what I'm saying? Because
but it's like, that's all nigga had to say. He had to call me an idiot. I'm sorry.
I didn't say the idiot part. Call me. I don't give two shits, man.
No, I know.
What I'm saying here.
But I don't normally come out of pocket like that. But that shit aggravates the shit out of me. When gamers act like that because they don't like a particular fucking game. That sounds so.
For a second, man.
It sounds so shit.
No, but Mega, what I'm trying to say here, first off, I didn't say don't do it. I'm looking at it like from the long term, from when I started gaming until now, right? Now, in the PlayStation 1 days and stuff like that, like the Japanese games were all over the place. People were picking them up. It was crazy. I'm saying that today's generation, it's not like that anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like, it is kind of like, it's been dwindling down. There are a couple really key titles that come out and they do get popular, but it seems like we are seeing less and less in that space. So I just want to put it out there that, I know nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and people are constantly like, yo, JRPG this and JRPG that. Well, Xbox doesn't have this Japanese game, or Xbox doesn't have that Japanese game. It's like the industry has grown so much that it's not just about Japan anymore. And I want to put it out there because it seems like certain extremists will just find that one thing that the platform doesn't have, and they'll ride that to, they'll take that shit to the bank. Like, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have this. When in all actuality, those titles aren't as important anymore. Do I want more games going to gamers? Yes, I do. That's why I'm not saying, hey, what the hell are you doing? Don't do this shit. But what I'm saying is the the industry has grown beyond Japan, way beyond Japan, to the point where Japan is a part of it, but it's pretty much an equal part compared to the rest of the world when it comes to making games and having games out there for people to play. You see what I'm saying?
But you want the choice. I get that, but you want the choice. That's all I'm saying. The Xbox should want the choice. I mean, should want gamers to have that option. If they don't care, then that's fine. Stay away from them. But you want more people to stay on your console than the other competition's console. You know what I'm saying? They can't help about the exclusives that PlayStation has, but they damn sure can help for games like Blue Blaze, for EX Layers, for those second and third party, for Neo. Like, those games should have been on Xbox, period. There shouldn't have been a year wait for Nier Automata. You know what I'm saying? Like Boy said, like, you know what I'm saying? I just can't. That's the thing to me, is where, you know, you may not think Jump Force and is only going to sell like 4 people, but
I don't know what that's going to do, because
it's huge.
Yo, real quick, we bringing y'all a hell of a show, man. Hit that like button, bro.
Yeah,
I know. Me and Doc don't normally go at each other like this, but
I will say this: like, we don't know, we don't have like the paperwork in front of us, like what, like we were talking earlier about the deals and stuff like that. We don't know what deal Sony had with Koei or whatever. I think it's Koei, that Tecmo, that made Neo and stuff like that. Did not put that game on Xbox. Was it a choice?
It was just a decision at that point in time.
That same thing with Nier Automata, and same thing with Hellblade. Was it a choice, or was it a something that Sony did to prevent?
They made it sound like it was a choice.
Just like with PUBG. Like, was that a choice, or was that something Xbox did to not put it on PlayStation for a year?
Mega, that was a nasty shot right there, by the way. I was just watching that gameplay, iron sights and everything, and would pop.
That's when I first was like,
definitely an
I didn't even know we had the scopes yet. I was like, God dang, this shit is difficult. But yeah. Thank you.
What you saying, Knox?
I said PUBG was definitely an Xbox thing. They came over, put it in that preview joint because Sony didn't have it to offer. You know what I'm saying? But look how real quick they went over there offering skins and shit and free shit. You know what I mean? Now, as far as the whole Hellblade thing, and from what I understand, it was a choice. They chose to, because they never ruled it out. They only said it,
And you know what? They never ruled it out for PUBG either.
No, they didn't, because they knew it was going there.
Yeah, but and that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, just because they don't say it's not coming doesn't mean there's not something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And that could have been the same thing with Neo or Nier Automata, where, like, you know what, they knew it was going to Xbox after a year, because if you look at the timeline, it was damn near right at a year and some change. Or was it something that Sony said, or was it something that they just said, we're not going to do this? Because Tecmo ain't a small company. Like, they made Ninja Gate, and they made they could have easily put that game on Xbox. I think they just
I don't know, man. I think you got to look in financially to see exactly what they are now, because they were big throughout like the gaming industry throughout the years, but I'm not sure how well off they are now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these companies, man, you can remember them throughout history. It's like, damn, they got to be huge companies in terms of having the money to back this game or back that game. And then you look into it financially, and it's like, yo, they're actually
okay. So Capcom couldn't have put in Street Fighter on Xbox.
Well, that was a deal.
Even after a year,
that was a deal, though.
Yeah,
that was a deal with Sony.
That,
Sony was like, no, you're not putting this on anything else.
And around that same time, guess what we got? We had the same time that happened. Around the same time, we had, what game was that? Lara Croft, Jesus Christ, Tomb Raider happened around the same time, right? That deal?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe maybe a little earlier.
Within a year of each other.
But they sure as fuck announced that shit was coming out on Sony.
Yo, they did though. That's fucked up, man. There was some things this generation that you kind of look back and scratch your head, like, why the hell they say that? Like,
well, I mean, it was the first question the media asked, though. They contributed.
Oh, they
to that.
They answered it, right? But like when that happens with PUBG or Near Automata or those games, like they don't talk
They
about
don't.
that
Nah,
shit.
not really.
Nope.
You know, Sony, and I will say this in Microsoft's defense, they did take a page of that fucking Sony playbook. They did not discuss fucking PUBG. They didn't say shit about PUBG going to fucking Sony
Yeah.
until like, last couple of months. So
I don't know.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of workings going on behind the scenes that we don't hear about, and we don't.
In the end, it's a good thing. You know what I would want them to do with this with these people that are over there, you know, representing Xbox in Asia now, instead of going for like the established companies in Japan, find the new talent that's doing something different over there, and really kind of like support the new developers that are coming up within the Japanese kind of like video game development industry. And I think that would be a real cool thing, because you know,
and I think they're trying, but I don't think they're just looking at just Japanese. I think they're looking at China and Korea too. Because remember that game Candlelight that came out?
which
It was a game called Candlelight. It was a Chinese.
yeah,
game.
I remember that.
I think they're because like they're Xbox has kind of like been kind of spreading its wings a little bit in the Chinese market. I think they've kind of not necessarily given up with the news of them trying to work stuff out over there, but I think they're trying to get a lot of Asian spice
Asian
over there.
spice.
Yeah, so not just Japan, but Korea, because that's where Bluehole comes from.
Yeah.
In China as well. So you can't just look at when you say those games from that region. You can't just look at Japanese. You have to look at China and Korea as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're working in that entire area per se. But yeah, they do need to kind of put a little bit more foothold in the Japanese market, mainly because they're not just losing ground with consoles. They've lost that completely. But like developers don't even want to work with you. That's a whole different game.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I feel like they should focus more on the developers that are up and coming within those regions, because then you're developing business relationships with companies that are basically, at the end of the day, will eventually kind of be at the top of the heap there. You know what I'm saying? And then you're already in good with the companies that are over there. But guys, do you have maybe a couple extra minutes? We got one more topic here when it comes to IO.
Go.
All right.
Go
Well, I've been seeing this rumor.
All my gameplay is going. Go ahead, yes, sir.
I've been seeing this rumor that Xbox could possibly be acquiring IO Interactive. And for people who don't know, just think Hitman, because that's the only one I think right now, you know, in terms of anything recently. But I know Hitman 2, as good as the game looks, and I really want to play that game, it hasn't sold as well, and people, you know, with looking at the kind of like development of that game, you can see a huge kind of cutback in cut scenes and stuff like that when it came to Hitman, stuff that we've kind of known, you know, within the Hitman kind of like franchise. You can see kind of like a cutback in certain issues with the game. Now, I think it looks like a great game, but it's not selling as well. So, yeah, does anybody know where these rumors are coming from? I guess somebody on Twitter said something, or anybody know?
Era, I think this guy who had kind of talked about some of the other acquisitions that ended up being correct had mentioned this as well recently. So he's got a little clout, I guess, when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was in Reddit. It was in Reddit, and it was in some other places. And then they were saying that the one Xbox insider, what's his name, Kilobride or Kilobro, I can pronounce his name.
Oh yeah, Kilobrill or something like that.
Kilobrill or whatever. But he said he hasn't said anything about it. The only thing that he said was basically, you know, it would be a great move, but it is now starting to catch a lot of traction everywhere.
Somebody said that they're looking into it or something like that. Like in terms that Microsoft might be, you know, approaching them with a deal or whatnot. I gotta say, when it comes down to it, even with just Hitman, all right, I would love to see what they would do as like first party with that Hitman franchise. Really,
Kane and Lynch, and they've done Freedom Fighters, and then they've also done a little.
Freedom Fighters was great on the 360 too.
Mobile shit, I think.
Yeah, then they've done a little kung fu game, Mini Ninjas.
Oh, all right. Well, then they definitely have like titles under their belt. I mean, me personally, without thinking anything in terms of like just me personally as a gamer, I would love to see this happen. I know that, you know, IO, like they've been losing money, and instead of them just completely going under, if they can get acquired, you know what I'm saying, first party, I would definitely go for that. But Predator, what do you think, man? IO, do you think that should be a first party? Do you think this?
I don't think that's a good purchase, man.
Really? Why not, man?
We discussed this, I think, on this channel maybe last year, where they were talking about rumors about them purchasing studios when the other Hitman came out, and
the episodic one, right?
Yeah, I think it was a good purchase then. It's like mainly all they have is Hitman, and they've got nothing else. Whereas, you know, like if they like if I was them and I had the money, I would pitch like who makes Crysis?
Crytek.
Crytek. Yeah, like that's a purchase you want to make because they have an engine. They have several games under their belt. IO really only has Hitman, and it's not even selling well now. So like, why would you pick that up unless it's like just dirt cheap? You know what I'm saying? Like then you get it. But like if they're putting like
I said, me personally, I love like Hitman. I love the Hitman.
And me personally, I think it's a shitty purchase. Yeah, that's me personally. So like, I just don't see the.
Dude, they can make another Freedom Fighters, man. Now that I know.
They can make other games with the other fucking 7 studios they just purchased. So like, I mean, why buy this one if it's not doing well now? Because keep in mind, when you're buying this studio, you're buying all the other bullshit with it, right? You're buying people, you're buying the games, you're buying the debt. You know what I'm saying? So like
the debt.
Like
you're buying that debt, brother.
Yeah, if you're picking all that shit up, pick up somebody with more clout. And I would say like a team like Crytek, even Remedy. You like if you're gonna pitch that, like pick up studios like that. They have something.
The only thing Crytek has going for it, like I know they did Rise, and I can see that, and
Rise, they did Crysis. They're doing Hunt Showdown.
You were just talking about Shooter Box, and you're like, yo, they should acquire that with Crysis. So
they have Crytek engine.
That would be the only thing. Would be the engine. I don't know. I think IO would be cool.
What does IO have that like? I mean,
Hitman.
Again, I'm just using. Hitman ain't enough, man. It ain't selling now. It didn't sell the last time.
If they also have that Mini Ninjas game. Whatever else that they would want to try to if they wanted to work on something different.
And if they have that and they have something behind the scenes that we don't know about that they're pitching to Microsoft, they're gonna make. That's one thing.
That's a great point. Not even that. One second. That's a great point, K Mega. We're talking about stuff they already did, but they can do something completely brand new as well. Yeah.
But you don't have to buy the company to get that game. You just buy
and not even that, but what about if they look at it like this way, right? Like Hitman 1 was episodic, right? That reboot. You got Game Pass going now.
The second one, Game Pass. They got another one too.
Yeah, no, I'm well, right, but if you get them or somebody like Telltale that just closed their doors, right? That this was the way they did, especially with Telltale in Telltale's case, right? They do this episodic thing. You put that on Game Pass, but that could drive people to come.
Telltale makes more sense to me because of the games they have, whereas IO and Interactive doesn't.
Dude, I had respect for you at the beginning of the show, man, but
you know what?
Wow, shade being thrown around. I like.
Man, I seen your gameplay. I lost respect for you then.
Hey, man,
this is award-winning gameplay right here.
I thought he was talking to me. I'm like, it won.
I was going to say, I'm going to win.
But
so I ain't
I'll
worried
agree with
about
Pred if it's about K Mega, though.
Noonie Cooney has got the win, baby.
That's some bullshit. I think it's a bad purchase unless they have something brand new coming out on top of Hitman. I don't see the purchase as being that big of a deal to me personally.
All right, I got you, brother. Yo, Knox, I know you chimed in like here and there, but I want to hear what do you think? IO Interactive, do you think that would be a good idea for Microsoft to grab it up, Xbox first party, man?
I mean, it all depends, right? It's got to be like the perfect culmination of things because, like Preston, you don't want to take these people's debt and all that. So it all depends. But if they can get them relatively cheap and use them to make some sort of new IP that could be episodic if they want to go that route. They got Hitman already, Kane and Lynch, you know what I mean? So it could become something if they choose. It just depends on how much is it going to cost them? Because, you know, if it's just going to be OD with all the studios that they've acquired recently, then you know, you gotta pump the brakes.
How about this one? All right, how about this? You have a choice. You're working for Xbox. You have a choice of buying a studio. There's IO Interactive, and then there's Compulsive Games. Which one are you taking?
With that, I will have to go with IO there. Just
thank you.
Just because, but the reason I say that is I am not familiar with Compulsion like that. You know what I mean?
We happy few, man.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know that game either.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I'd say Telltale. I mean, that's who I'd go after.
Damn it, you're fired. You are fired, sir.
Bro, Telltale Games is hot, bro.
Oh my goodness, man. If I wanted to read a storybook, I would actually open a book.
Game Pass. This is Game Pass stuff. People, listen. There is a market for everything. Like K Mega just said, there's a market for everything. People do like these games. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it broke their bank, I guess, but that Batman joint was off the hook.
Yeah, Batman was good.
That Batman was off the hook.
That's 100% right. But
you know what I mean? The Walking Dead was off the hook. The Wolf Among Us was off the hook.
Nah, I ain't going that far.
Nah, it was,
Wolf Among Us was probably the better one out of all of them, in my opinion.
That Borderlands joint. That Borderlands joint was
I'm not into Borderlands, man. Not at all.
Tales of the Borderlands joint was pretty hot. The Game of Thrones joint, I enjoyed it because I'm a big Game of Thrones.
I like the Game of Thrones.
So that shit was fire to me. That shit was hot. And that's perfect for that, you know, that episodic thing. Hey man, shit, it's coming out on Game Pass September, whatever. Make sure you got your 10 yuccas ready.
Yes. I think it was Sleepy Goblin. He's like, I don't know what the currency level is for a yucca. Like, he said that earlier in the show. That
just means
$1.
That means guap. It's the same thing. It's just money. It's just slang for money in general.
All right, well, Mega, like, what do you think, man? IO, you think it should be first party? What's good, yo? Hitman.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I don't see why they have to be stuck with just doing Hitman. I mean, if they wanted to do something different, they would have a budget. They would have financial backing to get it done. I think overall, what a lot of people on the panel is not getting is that these smaller companies like this, they're not going to be in existence. And yeah, you may not be the biggest fan of this particular episodic Hitman, but I'm sure that you like the Hitman in their history. And if, you know what I'm saying, and because it's not doing well, then that means that the doors are going to get closed and you'll never get the opportunity to sue it. So
and this Hitman looks good, man.
And the other one is good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get that the episodic thing is a little weird, you know what I'm saying? But it also, it saves these companies. And I think it's not only smart, but it's also, it opens the eyes to other smaller developers out there that's like, look, you know what I'm saying? Microsoft is helping out the industry plus helping out themselves. Mm-hmm. And more options is always good. You know what I'm saying? Look, like I said, you may not like Japanese games. You may not like
I knew you were going to go back
race
there,
car
man.
games. You may not like fighters. You may not like the shooters. But as long as Xbox has an option for you to go to their platform and play their games, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And the enticing part is that you may not ever thought about paying money for those games, but putting those on Game Pass is a game changer. So yeah, no, I would like to see this to be acquired. You know, I mean, if it was Remedy or IO, it'd be Remedy, but Telltale Games, man, you know what I'm saying? I do like those type of games and those storybook type of games like that, but I personally would rather have IO because they could have more a better creative vision, and Microsoft can back that.
Nice, brother. Well, guys, we are getting to it. We did basically all the topics. We did have a controller thing, but I think we can tackle that at a later date. To me, the show has been absolute fire. Like we had different discussions. There was people walking out on a plank for their opinions, and other times like we were in total agreement. You know, guys, again, if you like the show, definitely hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, definitely subscribe. We are here every Saturday. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, man, we gotta get those plugs in. And I'm going to start with my brother Knoxximus. I know, Knox, you just recently dropped a video on your channel. Why don't you let people know what that's about and where they can get a hold of you, man?
Yeah, man. You know, y'all could catch me on my channel. I'm in Knox We Trust. You could catch me on Twitter at the Knox. You could catch me right here every Saturday on the next podcast. You already know. And go check out that video. Look at all these rumors. You know what I
mean? Dude, I love your style. Like when it comes to the videos you drop, man. Like, yo, dude, you go in. Not only are you funny, but you put your point out there for everybody to hear. And dude, you stick by your opinions on what's going on, man. And we definitely appreciate that out here in the community, dude.
Man, that's what it's all about, man. I'm glad everybody does. And yeah, bro, you know, that's what I do, man. I'm always keeping a buck, bro.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Let's go to, oh, well, first off, I will let people know that the gameplay poll is up. It is on Twitter. All you have to do is go to my Twitter page at Xbox448. It is right there at the top. You can go and vote for who you think had the best gameplay between Nox, Predator, and K Mega. Yo, man. Nox, Predator, and K Mega. But let's go to Predator. Yo, Pred, do you have any special guest appearances planned? What is going on? And let people know where they can get a hold of you to talk games, man.
No appearances this week that I know of. You know, I get hit up at the last minute all the damn time. But follow me on Twitter and y'all can find that out if I'm going to be on the channel or not. I am off all week. I'm on leave. I have so much user-lose leave saved up that I can't work at all next week. So if anybody needs to be on a podcast, hit me up. I'll definitely be on Battlefield. Hit me up on Xbox, on Twitter, on MySpace, on fucking PlayStation 4, Predator_H2OS, and I'll game with you, whatever. I'm going to be on Battlefield here in about 30 minutes after I get some quality time with the wife, because that's only going to take about 5 minutes.
Wow. Yo, Predator, I'm gonna make your name. I'm gonna go into Blender. I'm gonna make your name kind of like the Facebook kind of like logo. It's gonna say Predator. I'm gonna do or the MySpace logo. Yo, my bad, yo.
Oh, but I'm done. I'm done.
Damn, I'm done. Too much talking.
Vote for Predator.
Yo, vote for. Yeah, because they can't vote for me. Yo, Mega, what is going on with you? I know you have your Dead Sea Scroll of shows. What's going on with your YouTube channel? Drop any videos recently? And let people know where they can get a hold of you, man, to talk games.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I dropped a couple of videos this past week. You can go check those out.
Talking about Japanese games, man?
You know what? Tomorrow I will be talking about Japanese games, ass hats, and so get ready for them.
Can I get a shout out?
Yeah, you're gonna get a shout out. You're gonna get one of them crumb side shout outs anyway. You know? So anyway, but no, I'll drop a video. And yeah, since you ain't got shit to do, Fred, you can take your bum ass and come on GRG next week. So that we already signed that in. So good.
You said all right, so good.
Yeah, it's already set in stone. Fuck it, he's coming. So anyway, so we'll have prayer, and I'll try to bring somebody else. Anyway, so yeah, check out the GRG podcast next week, next Friday, right after Crossfire, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. I think it's 6:30 Pacific. And in Sweden, I think it is
really?
like 2:30 a.m.
Nice. You've been practicing, man.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll check out your boy K Mega. Come to my channel. You know what I'm saying? Sub. Appreciate the support and everything. And yeah, man, just doing my thing. And also, you can see me here and vote for K Mega. Much love to everybody out here that came out here and do that thing. I had to get Bot right, man. He was talking too much crazy shit tonight.
Dude, you didn't convince me otherwise, man. So
yeah, man. And big shout out to Knox. Knox over there. He was talking good, man. He was talking good tonight, man. So go ahead and support my boy Knox. Everybody have a good one, man.
Yo, again, huge shout out to the community, everybody who hangs out with us every Saturday. You guys are the reason why we come together every Saturday and try to give you the most entertaining and informative gaming podcast that we can. And your support is showing that we are doing just that. But it is Saturday night. Gamers got a game. I got to get the controller in my hand, so I'm going to say it the same way I say it every Saturday. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Time for Destiny 2.
Pain is demon.